Welcome back to the Unanimous Decision Podcast. I am your host, DPalm. Follow me on Blue Sky, Instagram, all the socials at DPalm66. Follow the entire MTR network at the MTR network. And you can also find this podcast on YouTube. That's right, YouTube at UDPod66. You found us. Don't you dare lose it. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and yes, YouTube as you drag this podcast into 2015, one episode at a time. As always, I am brought to you by the good folks at the MTR Network and by DanielPalmerMortgages.com. If you can pay your rent, you can pay a mortgage. It's my job to help you qualify. Make sure you check out my other podcasting venture, Life, Love, and Real Estate. New episode is dropping this coming Wednesday. It is a kind of a look into the many ways into buying a home, and I'm excited to have you guys join us there. And today we're not talking about home buying. We're not even talking about anything necessarily that positive because we've got the editor in chief and my most frequent podcast co-host over the last 15 years. What's up, Kriss? How you doing?
Man, it's good to be here. I will say, I feel like our positions have changed a bit where, um, I'm like, you know what, I've tortured Deep Home enough. Almost like coming on. Now it's like when there's something bad that we need to talk about, you hear me, hey, want to do a UD pod? And I'm not going to give away what we're talking about.
We're
But it
good.
literally is one of those things I'm like, of course, this is what it feels like? Is this what I did to him all these years? And
Did
yep.
continue to do for the record. Like I don't want
You're
to
good.
act like
Yeah,
this
grab
all
myself.
this past is really here, but
Yeah.
yeah. If you guys, every comic is someone's first comic. Kriss started the MTR Network years ago. I kind of forced my way in as a fan, then as a listener, and then as a co-host on a lot of comic book related things. Brought my sports show. Did you know this is UD Pod episode 370?
Jesus Christ, dude.
Like they're
Man,
only numbered on my computer, but they're definitely numbered on my computer. And I was like, oh wow,
that's
that's
a
too
long
many.
time, man. That's a long
That's too
time.
many.
That's good, man.
Um,
No, it's great. You know how many people can get past 5, you know? So it's like,
yeah, that's what I tell everyone. I was like, look, and I was joking with someone. This is just kind of my sports journal at this point, but we get good feedback from folks. People are listening. I appreciate all the comments and stuff. I appreciate the feedback from last week's episode with Felder, that Felder Friday at the end. Shit's real, man. Like we're real people, and
yeah.
so this hits things differently. But I'm going to talk about a topic first. We're going to get to the reason you're here, but I do want to talk about some other things first because, like, I always tell people that sports will tell you what society is going to do. Like people are like, I can't believe the political arena's gotten this bad. I'm like, you weren't on college message boards, football message boards in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
You weren't on Tiger droppings. Like I can tell. You're like, who would do that? Like, no, they're going through people's trash, man. Like it's bad. And
Between
this
that,
past,
is that and Xbox Live chats. Like, if you want to know,
ooh,
like,
nice.
those two things, listen.
You know what? It's really funny is that I haven't even said what I'm about to talk about, but I do have in the doc. This is not insanity check. Don't let him do it to you. And so I'm not going to take the bait there, but I am going to talk about the thing I want to talk about, which is ESPN fighting with YouTube TV. And I want to make something very clear. When you're trying to take sides between Google and Disney, no one is winning. No one is winning. It's bad for everyone. That's your first sign something's gone awry.
I, I, yeah. I, it's all bad. It's all bad. It's just one of those things. Is like, guys, maybe consolidating all these things into these few super companies. Like the fact that you even break it down that is like I didn't think I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, wait, it is Disney versus
That's
Google.
all it is.
It really is that. It's really these two. I just it's so ridiculous. I just want to watch sports.
I, man,
I just want to watch
I
sports.
just want to watch Jordan. Like, I swear to God, like twice a year, we're like, man, we should really cut the cord and be done with this shit because like we're paying for the streaming service, we're paying for most of the streaming services, and then I'm like, I really don't want to give ESPN X number of dollars for a month to watch Georgia play football, and so we keep the cable bill, and so I think that once college football season's over, I think we're finally going to make the final cut. Like, there's nothing else. There's no other reason I'm here. I'm ESPN just for that, and I guess what the WWE play where they joined ESPN, it didn't work on me. I'm so out on WWE right now.
Yeah.
You know how you know why I'm out, Kriss?
Why are you out?
Because TKO ruined the thing you loved. It ruined the UFC, and I was like, man, there, but for the grace of God, go. Oh, wait. TKO about what?
Yeah.
They're actively ruining what?
Yeah.
It's so naked and bad, and it's everywhere. And this is not the insanity check. I promise. It's literally in the doc.
Hey.
This is not the insanity check.
Yeah, man. I look back and go like, man, what did I used to do on my Saturday? It was like, it's like I used to have people over. Why don't I not? And I was like, oh, it was fights. It was UFC fights. We used to come. We used to have fun. Fellowship was great. Now I can't do that because they've ruined it. And it's just like rich people ruin everything. Like,
It's they. What's even like wilder is that yes, three people ruined it, but they didn't even ruin it by like making it sustainable. They
no,
still don't pay the fighters.
no, right.
Like it's like, wait a second. At a certain point, like WWE, for what it's worth, before TKO got there, the salaries had gone up. Like
Yeah.
everyone was making a lot of fucking money, and they still are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very funny. I was listening to a UFC fighter talk about professional wrestling, and they were like, "Which is more dangerous, professional wrestling or UFC fighting?" And he said, "Professional wrestling." And they couldn't believe it. He said, "Why?" He says, "First of all, you do it like 3 nights a week. It's not once a fight every 8 months.
Yeah.
Secondly, in UFC, someone's trying to hurt you, so you're actively defending yourself. In professional wrestling, you're trusting the other guy. So if someone gets hurt, something's gone wrong." And it was something I had never thought about.
Yeah.
And now I'm watching TKO price out families and X. You guys can Google if you want. You don't care. But I'm telling you right now, professional wrestling is being gutted by TKO. And I never thought I'd say this, but thank God for Tony Khan.
I don't know. Again, not the insanity check, but I was talking about with Justin about the whole thing with the AI data center things like that, and I just across the board, I just don't. What's the end game, guys?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you do realize that if you price out your customers, you can't make the money you're making now. So how do you continue to grow? Because you always have to grow, right? It's growth, growth, growth. If you price everybody out, right? It's just
The answer, you and I have talked about it before, either probably on a recorded line, but maybe not. The overlap with the evangelicals.
Yeah.
They want the end.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, capitalism is literally the exploitation of resources till we're out of resources, and they want to win capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you get Peter Thiel and those guys being like, well, I don't actually intend to die. It's like, what, sir? And it's like, I too have an apprehension about death, the unknown. We all do, but that's why we go to therapy.
No, but
Can
they
you not
really think
afford?
they're going to live forever.
Can you not afford therapy, sir?
No, it's like they can afford it, but they rather put their money. It's like they've literally become the caricature of all of those like billionaires you've seen in like sci-fi movies, like the guy, the eccentric billionaire that pays all this money to like, has like a bunch of young children in his basement that he's siphoning away their life force with blood and things like. You're like, that's not real, right? You can't live forever, and it's like they're gonna do it.
Their reply is, it's not real yet.
And they're right, and they're openly talking about it. And you're like, but that's okay, yeah. So not the insanity check, like you said, but like we
But
see it.
It's all so tied together.
It's
Dude, Tom
everywhere.
Brady cloned his fucking dog.
I'm sorry, what?
Did you? Oh my God!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Praise Rod the Sun God that I get to bring this to you live in person, Kriss. So Tom Brady, eccentric rich man weirdo, has either through sponsorship or some other way allowed his family dog to be cloned because he loved the dog. Dog died 3 or 4 years ago. My initial joke is, of course, he needs the family dog because he clearly lost the family. Imagine divorcing your billionaire wife because you had to lose in the first round of the playoffs. You just had to. It was in your soul to do that. But yeah. But now I think that this is again that like it's a branch of the we're not going to die. You guys are.
It's just way too much money. Like I just you. There's so many other things you could do. You cloned your dog.
For who? For what? You try. The
For
kids don't have to visit you anymore.
the
You
kids
gonna bribe them with the dog? Remember your dog? he's back. Like,
Yo,
what
it's
are
literally
you
Pet
doing?
Cemetery. It's like they I literally talked about this, Justin. It's like they watched all the movies and all the stuff, and they don't understand any of it. It's like
No,
so
no. You know what it is, Chris? They got the blurb on the back of the book
yeah.
where the first half is like, in a future dictated by no free will and ruled by a few. They just didn't read the second paragraph where the story of the rebellion. They're like, no, no, no. This first paragraph sounds dope as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm going to make my entire life goal to create that. And it's like, no, sir, the book's about how that falls and why it falls and why it shouldn't have existed in the first place. And like, nah, I'm pretty sure this blurb is pretty all encompassing. And that's just all the questions I had. Next.
Fantastic. That's great. That's great. Okay.
But while TKO was ruining the things that you and I love, it had one side effect that worked out beautifully in my favor. Because now what you do with your Saturdays is you get to enjoy engorge yourself on the sport of kings, college football, the best thing this country's ever produced.
I didn't get on social media for it, but I saw the some would say the heartbreaker. To me, it was just hilarious what happened with Penn State. Like
Nigga, that catch.
that was amazing. I'm there watching it going like he's in. I think he's in. Like
I said he's in the second it
yeah.
happened.
I was like,
I was like,
he
oh, maybe
shouldn't be
I'm wrong. I gotta be wrong.
right. He shouldn't be in, but he's in. And it was like, oh, he's in. He's like, no, I'm sorry. It's just it's just ridiculous. It's
What
just
is
every week.
for those who don't know, what is the sport like? Great question. Indiana, that's right, that Indiana has turned into some sort of murder machine, crushing everything in its path until they played zombie Penn State. Why zombie Penn State? Because they got a bunch of talent with a bunch of money, but they fired their head coach and lost 3 straight fucking football games.
But those are the most dangerous teams. I've realized that too.
They have
Those are the most
nothing to
dangerous.
lose. It's
Nothing
just
to
guys
lose.
trying to put good tape out so they get taken somewhere else next year.
And I'm pretty sure that they even talked to the kid they talked to the players, and I think the players even said it's like we ain't got nothing to lose. And I was like, oh nah, man, I'm sorry. I played sports in high school. That's a team you don't want to play. You don't want to play the team that got nothing to lose. Nope.
I'm just here to ruin your day. That's
Right.
the only reason I'm here. The only reason I put on these pants today was to ruin your
No,
day.
absolutely not. That's not the team I want to play for. See, when in NFL, you never get a team like that in the NFL. They
No.
never they still got something to lose. Like even if it's bad, they still got something to lose. In college though, oh yeah, no. It's like, hey man, I ain't going to the NFL.
What if I made your highlight tape for the wrong reasons?
Right.
What if you remember this game for the wrong reasons for the rest
Right.
of your life? And
Yeah.
Indiana was one drive away from that happening, from Penn State being their boogeyman forever. From
Mhm.
Kirk Cignetti in a sequence of events that left him smiling, which actually made me terrified. Let that team go down the field. And with a throw that I'm pretty sure is going to win that kid the Heisman, but I'm also pretty sure he was throwing the football away.
Oh,
Like, I was like, oh, there's no one out there. Just throw it out the back of the end zone. He
Well,
just pulled it out of the air.
so I will say this, and that entire I don't know if it's just that drive, but I know several times there were several of those. The MVPs of that game were the receivers because there were several of those times when it felt like he was throwing the ball away, and somehow, wait, that motherfucker caught it? How? How did he catch that?
It says something about leadership that the quarterbacks get the glory for what you just said.
Yeah.
The receivers making the plays.
Yeah. Yeah. There's at least 2 or 3 throws where I'm pretty sure the quarterback was like, "Oh damn, he caught that."
Oh damn! You
Oh, shit.
so what was your first year in college football? Because like you came in when you walked away from the NFL and you walked away from UFC. What was the first
Oh
season?
no, I've always watched college football, but I think the 10 toes down. It was a few years ago. I can't remember when it was.
But it's wild because you came in like as the sport, as a crazy sport, got crazier.
Yeah. No. It's like it was definitely well before NIL deals, and so it's been a few years. Maybe is before the pandemic. So I can't remember exactly when.
Right around then. But
Right,
so
but like
you watched this thing go insane.
yeah, yes. I have not been like all in since the last few years, but like, I don't know. I find college football more exciting than professional football. It
Same.
just is. It's just the stakes. It's like it's one of the things. Give an example. The Ravens were playing, and they're what 3-5 now or something like
Yes.
that. Whatever. They're like, hey, still can end it. They can end up being a 12-5 team. Maybe they make the playoff and things like that.
They're going
It
to
can
win that
happen.
division. Like, that's
Right. They can win
crazy.
their division. Here's the thing. You you lose 2 games in college, and it's pretty much going like, well, we're gonna need to get a new coach next year. The players are gonna leave, and they're playing for nothing now. And it's just like at
And if
that
you're in the
point,
wrong city, it's like, I hope your address isn't public information.
right?
Like,
It's right. It's like you lose one game, it's like, oh yeah, you're dead. Okay, cool. And so at that point, they just play harder. They just do. You're trying to every day is a tape for you to kind of say, hey, this is where I'm trying to go at, right? You've already reset when you get to the NFL. You're already
right,
there. You got
right.
the money, you're getting the things, you got it. And so, and I'm not saying that they don't play hard or anything like that, they don't care. It's just different. The stakes are different. It's always going to be different. And so that just makes it a lot more exciting. And you never know what's going to happen. It's like you can
Ever.
kind of have a prediction of what's going to happen. Like you can't really predict the Buffalo Bills going down to the fucking Dolphins like that. But like, hey, that's going to happen once in a while. But that's every day, every Saturday in
It's the
college.
only thing I tell people, like, only gambling advice I've ever given is don't gamble in college football. Like,
Well,
why? Like, these are children. These are children.
well, that's one. They're children, but two, that's just yeah, man. That's Russian roulette with your money, man. It's like that's not. You
These children
don't.
don't care about their own lives. They don't care about your money. Your money. They don't.
No,
What? No.
no,
They're children. They can't be trusted.
no, can't be trusted. You can't. Nobody can be trusted with this. Mm-mm.
There's nothing.
I find it crazy when they're over there on college sports day trying to pick the teams. I'm like, why would you? There's no money on the line. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Well, they did that because they hate us. And they're
I
like, oh, this thing you already love, here's how we're going to ruin it. We're going to flatten the experience. Like, I've said this to Felder, but like, I'm saying it out loud to you. One of my main goals as a father is to make sure that kid learns to interact with sports outside of a line.
yeah.
Like, watching the Indiana game, I was like, imagine if you needed to gamble on this to like it.
No.
See, like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah. I actually think that you're always going to have your team to the end of that, but I find it even that's the other thing too. I don't have a team,
You're untethered, which I
so I'm
think is interesting.
untethered, so it makes it even crazier. So it's just like I don't care. Like I'm just free. It's great.
Well, it's so that's something I kind of want to like your unique experience with college football is because the NFL is a sport of how much you love this thing because the playoffs are if you're an NFL fan, your team is going to lose. So the playoffs and everything else around it is still exciting. College football is a hater's medium. It is built on not love. Do I love Georgia? Sure. Do I hate Florida? You're goddamn right.
Right.
My son does not have to love Georgia. He's not allowed to love Tennessee, Florida, or the Saints. Anything else, do what you want. My hate is stronger than my love. And so, like, as a hater's medium, when they bring things like the playoff up, and they're like, we're going to have 12 teams. First of all, there are very rarely two good college football teams.
Right.
See the earlier point of them being children.
Did they do 12 last year too?
Yeah.
They did. Yeah, guys.
Secondly, it takes for goddamn ever.
Yeah.
And thirdly, because it's a hater's medium, by the end, if it ain't my team, I don't give a shit. I don't care. That's why Bulls were awesome because everyone had something to watch in that part of the year. However, if Georgia loses in the playoff, guess how excited I am to watch the rest of the motherfucker? 0%. I do not. People are like, well, you're going to watch for SEC pride? Sir, if you've ever said that out loud, you don't understand football at all.
No, see, for me, I'm glad you said it's a hater medium. I do have hate. I hate some of the coaches.
Oh, that's
that
different.
makes it
that
makes
helps.
it great.
So this has been like your fucking siesta with this fired coaches parade every week.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's like, oh, this got fired.
Had you learned to hate Brian Kelly yet?
Hmm?
Had you learned to hate Brian Kelly?
I learned to hate Brian Kelly as soon as I didn't really care, but then that day he showed up at LSU, I was like, I hate this motherfucker. I don't care anything else. I just hate him. It's just like him coming out.
You do know he killed a kid, right?
Huh?
You do know he killed a kid.
Oh, that's right, he did.
Filming practice on top of scissor lift. I've never told a joke about this. Like everyone forgets things to the point where like people and Auburn fans were like, this DJ Durkin fellow could probably be the new head coach. DJ Durkin also killed a kid. Like we can't forget these things because you like the way they coach football. Like that's also been super weird to
Oh,
watch.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. If again, not to get all insanity check in there,
Okay.
but like if Tommy Tuberville is what we end up with because of a coaching football,
Oh,
I'm gonna
Jesus.
hate these motherfuckers. Like I'm
That's fair.
sorry, I'm
No,
sorry, but
no.
like no.
If
I'm
Tommy
gonna ask
Tuberville is the
you,
best we can do as a
that's
nation, then
what we
guess what?
if
I'm
that's what we got,
furious.
then no. Like they deserve all the hate in the world because they get way too much money and
Oh,
way too much time on their hands. And honestly, if you give them too much, you end up with somebody who's kind of who I think he's gonna run. I think he's actually gonna try to run for fucking governor.
he
So
is.
like we
With
no.
a former Bama quarterback as his lieutenant governor.
Jesus fucking
Yeah,
no. See,
yeah.
we got it.
Idiocracy was a documentary.
You got to put your foot down. You got to put your foot down. And the coaches are who I hate. And so yeah, no, it just comes in. It's like you know what? Who out you? I don't know the backstory. Just don't like you already. So and
I like that
usually,
you hate coaches. I wish that I could hate coaches as much as I hate places. Like Kentucky beat the dog shit out of Florida this weekend, and I watched every second of it because fuck Florida. And Susan was like, "Don't you feel kind of bad?" I said, "You don't seem to understand how much I hate Florida. I'll feel satisfied when they are so bad at football they fold the program. I want them to not exist. Like them in Tennessee, it's like brother. Like if you took out Knoxville tomorrow and was like, "Hey, we're banning football in Knoxville," I would just. I didn't know I could still feel this kind of joy. That'd be my reply. That would be
oh,
all I felt. You know how natural hate comes to me when it comes to the sport, Chris? Our old friend Cameron Hawkins, who now writes for The Ringer, um, called me on Saturday or Friday. No, it was Saturday because Columbia was on TV losing to Harvard, and of course he called me to talk shit. But we caught up because we're actually friends. We talked for a little bit, and I was like, "Hey man, we do need to catch up for real when we got some real time to talk." He says, "Don't talk to me for 2 more weeks." I was like, "Why? What's going on? Oh, your birthday? What's going on?" He goes, "Don't be like that." I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Texas, Georgia." Chris, I didn't flip a switch. I didn't have to change my line of thinking. I just said without even considering, I go, "Oh, you think that's going to be a game?" I was like, "Oh my God." That literally was the furthest thing from my mind. Like, that's adorable. And he was so mad. And it was so funny because I pointed out the fact that we're getting rumors about Sarkisian wanting to leave Texas.
Mhm.
And you never get those stories about Kirby, do you? And then I pointed out, which everyone hates, Kirby's 49.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, see, that's the reaction.
Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be like this for a while, guys. Hope you get comfortable because he's at his alma mater making more money than God and winning a lot of football games. Like there's never gonna be a Kirby's thinking about the NFL for
No,
what?
no, no. You don't have to do that. Don't I'm sorry, I don't love anything that much to give it that much money for that. No.
No, no. But
No.
it's fun to talk about things that you hate, and I'm glad you guys have come to this podcast. You've enjoyed the first half of this podcast where we talked about college football, and I made a couple WWE jokes, and I need to point out one more thing before we move on to the actual topic of the podcast. Um, so Kyler Murray's gotten benched in Arizona for Jacoby Brissett. It is the first time a quarter black has been used as the cudgel to upseat a incumbent. What I mean is, normally if you have a black quarterback, you need a quarter black behind him so that they don't call for the backup. I'll
Mhm.
remind everyone that for years Cam Newton was constantly harangued by these unimpressive white people behind him because the locals in Carolina didn't like that Cam Newton was their quarterback. And now we've seen it happen where equality, we got closer, one step,
Mhm.
one step closer today. But no, the reason we're here is because it happened again. And it happened again means that like once a month, I stumble into social media or I stumble into like a conversation, or you know what it is? I do get my beard trimmed once a month. and I'm exposed to a man who makes me physically react, Kriss. And you, because of who you are and the way you've been my friend, have exposed me to lots of people who bring me distaste, who bring me true disgust out of my heart. But I don't stumble across those people in places I go because you're using such fringe sources like Fox News. No. If I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time of day on ESPN, Stephen A. Smith is going to be talking. And I want to make something very clear here. I didn't want to do this. I don't want to. Kriss, but it's gotten too far. He's now entering politics, Kriss?
It's one of those things that you're saying you don't want to do this, and you say I was one of the things. It's like I have never been a Stephen A. Smith fan. I've always been just not like the guy. But I was like, you know what? He's staying in sports. He's basically a sports jock at that point. I'm gonna let him stay over there. He stays over there is fine. But like you said, now he's starting to dip his toes outside. Then it's like, motherfucker, stay in your fucking lane. You're not even good in your lane. And now you're going to jump in and start talking about things you don't know what you're talking about, but because you're black and you have a large platform, people are going to pay a lot of money to have you continue to spread misinformation and dumb shit across the board. And there's no self-awareness. There, like, I don't even know if you said we're going to talk about Stephen A. Smith. Are we talking about the solitaire thing? The AI.
I'm gonna get
Okay,
there.
I just want to make sure because it's just like it's just insane. It's like, what are you doing? Like, it's another one of those things of like you have enough money that you don't have to be a nuisance. You don't have to do this, but somehow it's not enough, and you've gotten to this point where he's become so self-absorbed that he has to be the center of the universe of everything, and he can't be wrong, even though he's routinely wrong. And
so let's tackle this one thing at a time. Let's first and foremost, the fact that he has reluctantly, which everyone saw when he was like, I don't want to talk about this. Last fall, we were like, oh, we know where this ends. And everyone being surprised that he has these right-wing tendencies when you're not surprised. You just want to act surprised on TV. But what I think more than anything, it's the death of expertise. It is the fact that this man who doesn't know much about sports, he said when they fired Chris Greer in Miami, he said, Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel, Tua, and you fired the brother. Mike McDaniel's black. And I don't know if he knows that, or I don't know if he's. That's the other thing is we've reached this point of kayfabe, professional wrestling term. He lives his gimmick now.
mm-hmm.
He's Ric Flair in the 80s. He thinks he's believed his own hype. But it's also societal because now, as you pointed out, these things that used to be prestigious or things that used to matter or voices that used to be to have access, to have the power of that platform used to be a thing that was largely coveted. But now they're just rich men's playthings. Tom Brady is getting paid $375 million over 10 years to be an announcer. He's not very good at it. And he's making more to do that than he ever did throwing the football. You brought up the gambling thing. And this could tie into lots of other people who I believe have similar pathologies and like Kevin Hart and things like that, where there is no too far. There is no not enough money. So Kriss brought up the solitaire thing. Stephen A. Smith and a number of other ESPN personalities have been tied to this shady solitaire app. What do you know about the solitaire app?
I know it's a scam. I actually saw a video on YouTube talking about it and bringing it up. One is a scam. Like somebody, one person was talking about how I think for like 6 months or a year she did it because it's basically coming out saying you're guaranteed to get money. It's easy. You just do blah blah blah. She was like, I did it, and she was like, I think she might have ended up with $100. She did for like 6 hours a day for a year. She ended up $100.
Okay, so I looked into this. It's Papaya Gaming. A
Yep.
court recently ruled that the Papaya Gaming placed bots in the games that are reportedly only played by human users, and these bots could determine whether the humans won or lost. For those who don't know, other sports personalities are involved in this. Mina Kimes, a well-respected voice on football who knows more about football than I do. Like, she's great at this. She got roped into it, but she did also refer to it on Twitter, on X, or Blue Sky, wherever. She says this: the truth is I didn't spend any time looking into the whole thing, and that's 100% on me. Thought it was just typical marketing work, and I'm deeply embarrassed I didn't vet it. A colossal fuck up on my part. Someone said, saying this is probably risking your money. She says, haven't been paid a dime yet, actually. Probably won't be now. If I do, I will be giving away the money. No one has to do that. That's a great admission, but it also seems like she was caught in a place where she thought things were going a certain way. Stephen A. Smith, I don't have the place to give him that kind of leeway.
No. Like, you saw the AI ad he did for it, right?
No.
Wait. So I get to turn the tables on you.
No.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't want
dude.
this
No,
again.
dude. There is an AI ad that he is in where he is all in. So you remember how, what was it, during like game 7 of a finals game where he had
Yeah, he was
caught
playing. He's playing solitaire.
that is what the AI ad is basically doing. It is basically a play on that. It is so bad. It is so bad. Like at one point, they literally have him like riding a bike, playing the thing. It's like he's all in on it. So this is, yeah. They mention Mina Kimes. They mention other people, sure, but they are not like he
The big
is.
get was Stephen A. Smith.
The big get was Stephen A. Smith because he is absolutely pushing this shit. It's not just, oh, he's caught up in it. No, he is all the way in on it.
So I think what the reason I wanted to talk to you about this is because you're good at one of those people who's really good at connecting things to a larger picture. The idea. Here you go. The example someone gave to me was this offseason the Knicks fired their head coach. If someone had said Stephen A. Smith should coach the Knicks, they'd be laughed out of the fucking building. They'd be made fun of. They'd be ridiculed. But if you say Stephen A. Smith should run for office, people say, why not?
It's even
That's
even what he
terrifying.
it's not only is it terrifying, but even just so I had to look it up. I had to look up like let me what is Stephen A. Smith's background, right?
Right.
He has a
Right.
background in communication. He's been in sports journalism. So it's like, what is it? And it hit me. It was like, okay, I got it. I know what it is. It's the attention economy. It's like he's done the same thing that so many other people have done, where it's like, I'm gonna throw all of my morals, I'm gonna throw all of being right, I'm gonna throw all that out the window because I know if I can be just get attention, no matter what the attention is, whether it's good or bad, that's gonna make me money. It is a thing that I used to talk about all the time when I was doing YouTube videos and things like that. Was like, if you want to be big and make YouTube videos, oh, it's easy. You know, hey, we can blow up UD Pod tomorrow if we wanted to. It just, do you want to have you want to give up your morals? You know, we joked about it all the time with, hey, let's start a religion and let's just, let's go all in. But but I'm just saying, don't give away the game.
Man.
But it's just like that's what he's done.
Yeah.
And it gets to this point where there's this line where you watch people get to this point where it's like you can tell that they're doing it because they know that they need to do it, but they still haven't completely sold out. And I can't remember exactly when it was. I could probably dig down further and find out exactly when that moment for Stephen A. Smith was, when he finally decided he's going to go full dark side and go into it. To now, it's not that I've heard people say this, that, oh, he's just playing the game. No, he has now gone over where he believes it. He believes it because he has a bunch of other people who are going to tell him, sure, why not? Yeah,
It's also the fact that he's lived this life twice. So he did ESPN before and got fired.
Mhm.
And his work ethic and determination, and his determination to do what's next, is what got him back and what elevated him to the place where, in an atmosphere where a lot of the talent has been viewed as disposable. He's made himself indispensable.
Right.
And in that action, in doing that, it's all worth it to him.
Yeah.
But what I think is super interesting, and going back to the Tom Brady having an announcer gig, these positions used to be there used to be fewer of them, and they used to be abdicated when people reach a certain age, or hey, we're going to move forward. This old guard, like you mentioned earlier, they're injecting blood and like doing whatever they can to stay young forever. There is this like ingrained refusal to acknowledge that you too must die. And so you've got Chris Collinsworth still out there calling games, to the point where his grown son, whose only resume point appears to be being Chris Collinsworth's son, is also on the goddamn broadcast. Where are the new voices? Where are the next voices? And I think that that's a larger commentary on the world, because if Stephen A. Smith runs it all, if Stephen A. Smith is now indispensable, is that why Bomani Jones is gone? Is that why Pablo Torre does his investigative reporting elsewhere?
Yes. It's as crazy as it sounds. One, Stephen A. Smith is controllable. He isn't. He would never admit it. He's not. But you know what you're going to get with Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
He's going to. It's as crazy as it sounds. He's going to fit inside of a box and do what needs to be said and say the things that don't push the thing. If it means, again, what was it? And I said this. I think it was this weekend. This weekend, when was it? No, was it this weekend or last weekend when Dallas was playing and he was up there in the booth with Jerry Jones? Now, again, I guess he was going to do an interview or something like that. But it was just something that made me just sit there and go like, what the fuck? That's not how that should be. You are supposed to be a journalist, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be interviewing Jerry Jones, and you're just sitting there next to him in the booth during the game. And I'm like, there is no line anymore, man. It's like there used to be a code. There used to be a thing you could do. And like you said, the people that have that, you're right. They're no longer there, right? Because one, they would rather, have somebody they can control like Stephen A. Smith.
Right.
And they also know that he's going to bring in people are going to listen. You hate him, you're going to listen. You love him, you're going to listen, right? It's like it doesn't matter what he says. It doesn't matter how truthful it is. It's bringing butts in the seats, and that's all that matters. And it
gets
just
the people going, Chris.
Everything is growth.
Mm-hmm.
Growth no matter what. Attention no matter what. And you're right. We have gotten away from this idea of, hey, train the next group that comes in. Hey, give somebody else an opportunity. Step aside, right? Maybe it's that time. It's like, no, you're going to hold on.
Sit your ass down. You know my favorite clip I saw over the last 3 weeks of anything involving football was? Nick Saban. They brought him a cake while he's in the recliner with the blanket over his feet. I was like, oh, that's pop now. Man, y'all done. Oh, Nick's coming back. Nick's never coming back. Miss Terry had to hit him and be like, sit up straight.
Right.
Like, it was hilarious. But it was like, oh, this man is like, my work is done here. I'll go have some fun on Saturdays, tell a couple jokes, be on game day. But I'd rather be here with Miss Terry and my family. Mm-hmm. What happened to that? What happened to one of the things we say around our house is we're very fortunate to be experiencing this season of our lives in the way that we are. What's that mean? We don't get to go out to dinner a lot. We don't get to go to the movies. We don't get to do certain things. Certain sacrifices have to be made. My life has changed. But an appreciation for the changing of that season is not a mourning of what was. It's an appreciation of what is. And these people are so afraid of what may be that they won't let go of what was.
You know what it is? It's growth. It's called growth. And it's funny. I can't remember her name, but the woman that got Elon all riled up, and now he's tweeting about his favorite movies and shit like that because she basically called him out about how. But it's true. It's like they don't enjoy life.
No.
It's like, what do you enjoy?
What do
Like
you love?
Stephen A. Smith gets up every day, and his entire personality is built around honestly being a hater. He has no. I mean, it's what it is,
No,
and
it's
like I
love. It's a
joke
love.
about
It's a
that.
love of money.
Well,
Like that. So I
I
have
don't. But I
young
don't
girls
know.
who work in my office, and they were like, "What's the one thing you should ask a guy on a date?" I said, "You should ask him what's the last book you read for pleasure." Ask a man that, because men have been, particularly the last 40 years, have been socialized to believe that the only thing that matters is the scoreboard or your bank account or X, Y, and Z. And so the idea of like doing something like on Sunday, I had to do a bunch of work that day, but it was super important because it was like one of the last few nice days we'll have. We spent 3 hours in the park, man.
What's your hobby, man?
What do you do? People,
What's your
what do
hobby?
you pocket? How much you pay for podcasts? Like, I
Like,
pay for this. This is an expense. This is a hobby that I just love.
I mean, here's the thing, and this, and I say this as somebody, we use the podcast all the time, right?
Yeah.
And I'm now back in the podcast, and people understand. Oh, I'm glad you're back and things like that. But I had to tell people, it's like I'm not doing movies right now, and the biggest reason is like, man, you do it enough times, sometimes you start not enjoying the movies. So I'm starting to get back into watching movies now just for enjoying. Don't want to talk about them, just want to watch them.
Yeah.
We're gonna get back into comics. Was never that way for me. I always enjoyed it because we always read what we wanted to read anyway, and
Exactly. Yeah.
it was fun and things like that. But like part of that understanding that and why I took a step away, that makes me it just hit me. It's like that whole thing of Stephen A. Smith playing solitaire in the middle of the game 7. Anyone else is not going to be playing solitaire on their phone during game 7. Here's the problem. It's like when that's your job and that's all you ever fucking do, you're not enjoying it anymore. You're not enjoying it anymore.
The thing you love turned into a bill, turned into
Right.
a source of money. Yeah.
And that's part of the problem I have with the hustle economy and the
Yeah.
hustle culture where turn, how many times you heard this? Turn your passion into your job. Nah, man. Nah, turn your passion into your passion. Just have it there, man. You need that thing. And you can I can see it. The more I see Stephen A. That is a man that he's not enjoying himself, man. It's like, and I'm not saying that they have sympathy or anything like that. Fuck him, because I don't like him. But like, it's very clear you don't enjoy anything.
Yeah.
You're entire. And honestly, that's why he's going into politics, because now he gets to go and bitch about something else. You need to find something else to hate. You need to find something else to complain about and things like
You
that.
can only do the Cowboys show so many times.
Right. It's like, dude, like, what do you enjoy? What do you like? And the woman asked Elon, what movie do you don't talk about anything? You don't even talk about this. What movie? Now he's out here trying to convince everybody that he actually watches a movie like a regular person. It's just like, that's what happens, right? And that's what I see with Stephen A. Smith. It's just like, you're going into politics. So what? So you can just sit there, be on the outside, complain. I know I can list out everything that Stephen A. Smith will say. I can list out you're gonna have no platform. He has no political platform, right? He's gonna say a bunch of stupid shit that can be easily disproven.
You saw what he said. Well, it's less. I hate it more now. Where it's like, oh, Democrats should just fold. Trump's not going anywhere,
right?
And it's like, well, like you don't. It is the lack of guiding principles. It's the lack of a singular, like, this is what I stand for. This is why I stand for this thing, and this ability to be so malleable that I think is actually, in my opinion, kind of terrifying. Like, it's a sociopathy that I can't relate to.
But even that, right? He'll take what happened recently and say, "See, I was right." But it's like, but you have no critical thinking off of that, right? You have no thing off of that. And honestly, if you look at what he talks about in sports, it's the same fucking way.
Exact same.
There's nothing, and so that's why, his way of dealing with people when he's confronted is to talk over them, because he can't have a normal debate. He can't sit there. It's crazy to me. It's like the guy on TNT, when they were on TNT talking about sports and talking about basketball, like with Shaq and Ernie, they would have more legitimate conversations than you would have with Steve. They would disagree all the time. They would crack jokes, things like, but that seemed more real. Everything that Stephen A. Smith seems manufactured. Like, you're playing a part. You're just doing a thing. You're getting riled up. It's like there's no joy in it. It's like you're putting on an act the entire time, and then you do the whole thing, and it's like, then you're saying nothing. If you get past the loudness of what he's saying actually nothing. He has no substance whatsoever, And again, when you look at the man's background, you should have substance. You could be that guy, but you completely given it away to do this.
And it's weird because, like, yes, we're talking about specifically Stephen A. Smith. This is a larger problem on the algorithm and the way that they figured out how to manipulate us. Is that you will talk more about the things you hate than you will about the things you love. And so once they realized that and commodified it, there is a part of me that's like, look, man, he has cracked the code and decided that his own humanity isn't worth it, that it's for sale, and they found the price and it's high, and he got it. But man, for me, it's just one of those things where it's like, this can't be worth it. This can't be worth it to the level of like he lets to look at what he's done to like the way people talk about sports to the point where have you watched the NBA on Amazon or on Peacock yet?
A little bit. Not on
They
the streaming services, but like
Yeah, but on NBC,
yeah.
they talk about the sport in such a more positive way than ESPN has over the last. Like they are celebrating the sport to the point where like Nikola Jokic is like, I like this show more. I like being here better because it's like, yo, man, like, what if it wasn't always this is worse than what you remember? Remember those things that you love? This is worse than that. What if it was a celebration of this thing we love and creating through lines from the thing you loved into the thing that is? And it's almost shamed ESPN into changing their coverage. Like I've watched it happen over the first few weeks of the season, but it's been very interesting to watch because because like I said, sports is a good bellwether for where the country and where the world's going to go.
Well, it's
Can I be hopeful and say that maybe, just maybe, this is the beginning of a shift in that avenue? Because guess what? The NFL coverage on ESPN is not negative. It's wholly positive and celebratory.
yeah.
So if we can get there with basketball, which is a much blacker sport in this country than football is that going to say, hey, maybe, just maybe we can change this conversation around? Help me be positive, Kriss, because Stephen A. Smith's his continued enrichment threatens my worldview.
I think you're seeing it. I think you're seeing it. I think you're starting to see it across the board because people have to. It gets to the point where it's just like that. Because you know what the thing is? Because everybody's overplayed their hand. Because now everybody's trying to do it. Now everybody's trying to, oh, he made it, so now that's the way to do it. Right? So you're starting to see people go like, okay, well, it's just how it is. Well, if everybody's doing that thing, let me go do this thing over here and see that
Yeah.
happens. So you're getting Pablo, right? And seeing
Oh
his
yeah.
reporting. You're getting Bomani. You're getting people that are like, at some point, people get sick and tired of it. They're like, you're sounding the same like everybody else.
Yeah.
Where do I need to go? I mean, I'm even finding it myself where it's like, okay, on a politics side, where I'm getting my news from and things like that, it sucks. I need to go somewhere else, right? I
Yeah.
need to go, and I'm finding the other outlets, I'm finding other places and things like that. It's starting to happen, and people are starting to do it because at some point, and this is one thing you can thank Trump for, when everything is so fucking terrible, you don't want to hear it anymore, right? And so it's like, dude, like life sucks at this point. I don't want to keep hearing this. I want to come in and I just want to watch sports. I just want to hear about the sports. I want to hear people that enjoy it. I don't
Yeah.
want to hear somebody just who's loud and talking about all the other stuff and it's not feels like he doesn't enjoy it too. It's like, do you enjoy sports? Do you enjoy just sitting around? Is there a sport, Stephen A, that you just watch and enjoy and sit there? What do you want to do?
What if
What
Stephen A was like a quiet hockey head? Like, what if he quietly, like every night, he's just like taking in a bunch of puck? Like that'd be hilarious. But I kind of want that for him. You're right. Like I hadn't really thought about what it says that he's lacking, and it does speak to the old adage of misery loving company. And he's dragged an entire generation of sports fans down with him.
Yeah, yeah, and then the to me the next thing is going down this gambling and pushing this app. It's just like
Oh,
again, I it's amazing to me because I feel like every time we come on and talk to the UD pod, I gotta give my spiel about how and I don't know if this give it anymore because now I want to say in the last month we've now had two major gambling things that have broken. It was like, guys, you're breaking it. You're breaking it. I don't want to say it anymore. You are breaking sports for greed. And again, there's
oh,
always like there it's super greed. There's always been greed. There's always been greed in sports. There's always been gambling. I don't think people are really. I think they're starting to understand. It's this is different. This is a different level where there's no even attempt to have shame,
Kriss,
right?
it's in their phones.
Yeah, It's in their phones. And then when you have somebody, and again, think about this. Stephen A is pushing, and even the rest of me and the rest of them, they were promoting the solitaire app, this gambling thing. Stephen A did this whole AI. I gotta find it and send it to you because you're gonna blow your
my
fucking ass.
fucking mind. When I do, yeah.
You're and they work for ESPN.
Which
They work
I
for
point out
Disney.
to everyone, had ESPN Bet, like we talked about this on Friday with Felder. They had ESPN Bet through Pin Financial, which was, again, Pin Financial is a horse racing outfit that came into money and then diversified during the pandemic. They are not a real institution. They were partnered with ESPN to create ESPN Bet, the betting platform. The same day they announced they were ending the partnership because of everything, they within an hour the next announcement was we entered a new agreement with DraftKings, and I'm just like, no one's learned anything. No one's learned anything, and everyone's making the same mistakes.
They've learned. They no, they actually that's wrong. We say nobody's learned anything. They have learned something. They've learned that they can get away with it.
If we take our names off it, it's easier.
They've learned that nobody's going to hold them accountable, right? If everyone decided, you know what, I'm tired. I'm not going to, like you said, hey, you know what? I'm going to find some other way of watching these games because I'm tired of going to ESPN and literally the entire screen. There are some times when 3/4 of your screen is betting stuff. I'm like, am I in Vegas right now? Am I about
It's
to?
so
What are we doing? And
frustrating.
it's like, and at some point, it's with all of this, it's only going to matter when we all say enough's enough.
So
You know what?
this
I'm
is
done.
so I'm going to end with this because, in my opinion, this cultivation of like a large scale mental illness of gambling addiction ends with like a massive class action lawsuit, which is only going to be dwarfed by the amount of like. Did you hear what Sam Altman said this week?
Oh, which dumb thing he said. This man
He
is probably
said
my new nemesis.
he said that they expect to be bailed out by the governments because there's
Oh,
everyone's so like I was like,
oh no.
you
So
bitch,
no. So
you
no. No. So,
bitch. The
so
the
you didn't hear
game has been
the
the
insane
game
trick.
has been revealed.
You didn't hear the insane trick this weekend. We talked about this.
No, I
So
haven't yet. God,
it wasn't him. First of all, it was the CFO. His
okay, well,
CFO
the money
came out and
guy
said
said
it.
it even
Then he
better.
came out and kind of sort of said it, but then they kind of backtracked when they realized what it is. What I need everybody to understand, and I've said this before, I'll say it everywhere else because I've gone down this rabbit hole of AI is not real.
Down with the clankers.
Listen, I'm trying to get some shirts and things like this. Listen, OpenAI is the biggest scam we've ever had.
It's
I broke it. I broke
naked.
the
It's a
numbers.
naked scam,
I
Chris.
broke down the numbers on the show because I've been seeing it and things like that. I want to say they make about 5 billion a quarter, which is a lot. That's 12. They said, hey, annualized, they're making 12 billion, right?
Right on.
That's 5 billion a quarter. They lost 11.5 last quarter.
Wait, but that means that
They're not a profitable company.
it's almost
They've
like
never.
Chris. It's almost like in the history of the world, if your market is purely speculative, it's not a. It's going to burst. Like
And,
it's not
and,
might burst. It's going to.
but this is how it's all related because again, we just talked about what is it's not just a betting app that's even
Right.
it's an AI ad for betting apps and things
Which
like
are just data collection services for the record.
right. It's all related. They're all doing the same thing, right? It's there. It's you know I can't get people to understand enough that this is all bad
It's all
and
bad.
they're all lying and they're all doing this and the only thing and to the point of you can't even just say anymore, well, I don't want to pay attention to it. It's everywhere. You can't watch your sports without seeing it's not even just the betting now thing, they're now using AI for it. They now have I can't remember the name of that, and I don't even want to tell people. I don't want people to go find it. There's now like a betting app out there that allows you to bet on just regular events.
Oh, I know exactly. Like,
Yeah,
it's the open market thing. It used to be
yeah,
where you could bet on political outcomes, and I was like, this is probably bad.
yeah.
And it's
Now
gotten
just
way worse.
is it going to rain tomorrow? Oh, maybe it's like it's to the point of
It'll
that.
cost you.
Right, and it's just like, oh my god, are you fucking serious right now? So it's just like it's everything's related. So you can't watch your sports. And to go in what you're saying about, it's going to take a lawsuit. I'm going to tell you, just like what's happening with OpenAI, because kids have died because Chat
Yeah.
GPT is basically telling them, "Hey, go kill yourself. It's fine," and encouraging them. Fine. It's going. That's what's going to be. Some kid is going because there
And
is.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Chris, having lived in this country for 40 years, how many kids have guns killed and how many guns are banned? There's too much money, baby. They will
Oh no.
never regulate this.
Yeah. I
Ever.
the only reason why I feel like this might be a little different than guns is just because they won't have the constitutional argument that they hang on with guns, like the Second Amendment thing. They
They'll
won't
make up
have
a
that.
new.
And
They'll go to
they'll-
first.
they
They'll go to
will,
the
they
first.
will, but it'll be bad because here's the thing. Because again, we can go down so much down this rabbit hole because
Yeah.
technically this is sports because technically ESPN is also involved in esports. But you know about the whole thing that happened with Counter Strike skins and how that market crashed?
No, explain what that is and then explain the story.
It's fucking stupid. They basically you play games like
Yeah.
Counter Strike, just like Call of Duty. You know how you can get skins for like your weapons and things like
For the
that.
record, I've never understood that because you're a first person. You can't even see like yo flash,
Hey, listen, I get it too.
but you're buying the.
Whatever, but that's fine. So what Valve did in their infinite wisdom, they gamified it, and they really kind of made it like they Valve kind of did it, but I think the other apps then built on top of this. It's a whole big thing. Regardless, they made it like slots where you can kind of like get mystery boxes, and you can do. People started trading those. They traded them like they were like actual real money. When I tell you this is a $1 billion industry, it's a $1 billion industry. Here's what
For video game skins.
video game skins. Oh, you gotta look this up, dude. It's fucking ridiculous.
No, I don't. I'm
And
afraid of
and
enough in this world.
and again,
Thank you very
it's
much.
tied to sports because esports,
Esports, yeah.
things like that, right? So Valve at some point, because they weren't in on it because they weren't the ones that had the stores that were is their skins, but the trading wasn't happening on Valve. So they made a change in the in the APIs and shit like that, so that they made it so that the more rare things were could be traded up, and they basically crashed the market. It was like $2 billion lost in a weekend and things like that because and I'm like, this is how fragile all this stuff is. So all of it is fragile. And here's the thing: kids were getting hooked into gambling off of CS skins. You do that, next thing you know, you're on DraftKings. So I really do believe at some point it's going to it's going to be some super lawsuits based off of kids getting hooked up to gambling, and it's going to be bad. And the reason why I don't have hope that it's going to like completely destroy the industry, but it's going to get some people caught up. Just like we're seeing professional players now getting caught up in gambling and things like that even more. It's going to get to people like, hey, Stephen A., you're doing this shit. My kid looks up to you. They went out and got the game. Next thing you know, they lost $20,000 and they killed themselves. I'm going to sue you now. Oh, that's going to happen. It's going to happen. And
this is where if we were on insanity check, I'd point out that the companies that own those businesses also own the media, would never allow these stories to get proliferated in the media. Anyway.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I'm not saying. Hey, listen, when I say this is going to happen, I'm saying
it's happened.
It's happened. We're gonna hear about this one, just like the thing that happened with the ChatGPT. That was like two years ago or something like that. Like this is not stuff that's like recent, and so it's the only thing that it's all connected. It's all stupid. I hate it.
Idiocracy's documentary, and
yeah,
hopefully on the way to the hell, Georgia can pick up another national title. You know, at least something good will come of all this.
hey, there's something there, right?
There's something there. Chris, man, thank you for coming on. Tell everyone where they can find Insanity Check.
Insanity Check on iTunes and Spotify. You can go to MTR Network. We're there. I kind of have a schedule every weekend, I guess, sort of. You know, it's just whoever pisses me off the most, and I can find somebody who hop on the on the bike with me, we hop on. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at. And Sandy Report on Blue Sky. So I am on Blue Sky. So
Chris's superpower is to find out times when I'm mentally weak, and then say, "You want to come and Sanity Check?" And I always say yes because I'm an idiot.
Hey, I'm gonna say exactly what Stephen A. would say about people gambling. Hey, you have a choice. You have free will. You can say no. You can say
but
no.
If you don't play, you cannot win, brother.
Hey.
Oh my god. It is. Like I say all the time, gambling is the worst addiction because every heroin user knows that the next shot might kill them, Every gambler knows this next bet might solve all my problems. As always, brought to you by the good folks at the MTR Network. Thanks again for Kriss, our editor-in-chief, for joining us today. Brought to you also by DanielPaulMortgages.com. If you can afford rent, you can afford a mortgage. It's my job to help you qualify. Make sure you check out my other podcasting endeavor, Life, Love, and Real Estate. And also, make sure you're back here on Friday with one more Felder Friday ahead of us. That was your show. There is no outro. See you guys later this week.
Peace.